Welcome back to Chowder Family Farm. So today we have a little bit of a different style video for you today. This video is one that actually Mama recorded. So back during Farmathon, I had showed you guys one of our lunches for the day, and it was harvest corn chowder, and we had quite a few of you guys asking for the recipe. So Mama made it again, and I had her record how she made it and all that. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll have the recipe down below in the description, and Mama will show you how she makes it in this video. So
hello everyone, Mama here in the kitchen getting ready to start some lunch, and today we're having harvest corn chowder. And yes, technically we're done with harvest, but we only had it once while we were in the field, so I thought, well, we can have it again. And I'll kind of show you how I make it, and then probably have a picture of the actual recipe that I use somewhere in the video. So that's what I'll be doing, and I've got several things going on in the kitchen this morning, and so I'll tell you a little bit about that as well. Okay, harvest corn chowder. Here I have chicken cooking up. I want to get it a little brown. I like to get a little crispy around the edges there, and so brown it nicely. It's probably about done. So this is probably about 2 cups of chicken. I add a little bit more for the recipe, of course, because our family's larger. But you could probably just go by the recipe with what it says to use and, you know, get the right amount. So that's my chicken that I've got ready. And in here we have olive oil and onion. I'm going to start that cooking and just saute it a little bit and add some spices and seasoning to it. And on the chicken I did use, I make my own, but it's adobo seasoning. And it's just a lot of different spices put together. It makes a great seasoning. You can use it on potatoes. I'm using it on this chicken. Lots of different things. So if you haven't ever heard of adobo seasoning before, look it up and make your own. And so now with this onions, I'm going to add several different things. One of them is going to be poultry seasoning. So I just kind of guesstimate. I'm not real stickler on how much, but like I say, we'll share the recipe if you want, you know, exact. So we have poultry seasoning, some garlic powder, and I think that's going to be it for now. So onions and spices are cooking down. I'm going to go ahead and get this chicken in here. And the recipe uses either ham or like smoked sausage. So what I do is I get the Johnsonville, I think they're smoked sausage brats or something. I'll show you the package here, but anyways, we like the better cheddar ones. And so I use 2 cheddar ones, and then we also like just a little hint of heat. So I use one of the jalapeno ones as well. And this is what they are. Okay, we let that just cook a little bit here. It doesn't need to do too much. And I'm going to add some chicken broth. So I'm going to use 2 cans just because we need more liquid. So I did 2 cans of chicken broth, and I'm going to do some corn here. I have probably, you know, close to 2 cups of frozen corn. This is just our frozen sweet corn. Store-bought is just fine as well. And just put that in. I have home canned tomatoes, so if you're using potatoes, not tomatoes. If you're using raw potatoes, you'll have to account for the extra time for those to cook. You know, these are canned, so they're already soft, so they don't have to do much. I'm gonna put them in. And we're gonna let that cook a while. Let all those flavors join together and get all tasty. And since I did put that adobo seasoning on the chicken, I'm not gonna overly season this too much more. We have the garlic powder, the poultry seasoning. I do want to do a little bit of salt and pepper though, extra salt and pepper. The recipe also does say you can use a little bit of thyme. Thyme, we take it or leave it, so I'm just going to leave it out this time. This time, but yes. So thyme can be used, but we're not going to use it this right now. So we're just gonna let this get to a little bit of a boil and cook a little bit longer, and then we've got just a few more things to add. Corn chowder here cooking. Right behind it I do have my steam juicer. So how this works is in the bottom you fill it up with water. The middle is where the juice is gonna go, and the top is where you put whatever you're juicing. So as water heats up, it creates the steam, which then goes to the fruit, and the juice comes out of the fruit. On the side is the hose that you put that in. I usually set a chair in front of my stove and then put like a bucket if I'm using, especially if I've got a big amount, and just let it run into the bucket. And there's a batch of apples, and this was, completely full when I started, so that's how they cook down. Like I say, it's not taking these little ones very long to cook down, and I can tell they're pretty dry because they just kind of poof up, but then there's not, there's no moisture to them, and it doesn't take very long to get all that juice out. So that's how the steam juicer works. And here is a jar of apple juice that I did yesterday. I did 7 quarts yesterday, probably get, I don't know, maybe that much more today. And it's delicious. It's so much different than store-bought. Store-bought's clear for one thing, but the taste is different, but we really like it. We actually, I think, probably prefer it. This isn't nearly as sweet as store-bought, but I think that's a good thing. Store-bought can get pretty sweet, so this is our canned apple juice. Okay, this has been simmering for a while, so I'm going to add the final thing, which is some milk. Now the recipe says, like, I don't know, a little bit of milk and then some half and half. I'm just using our fresh raw milk whole. So this is whole milk, so I'm not going to use milk and then half and half as well. If I wanted to add a little bit more, I would add cream, because sometimes I do skim some of the cream off of our milk. But I'm just going to go with this milk for right now, and I'm using 2 cups. So we're just going to let that simmer for, a few minutes. That won't take long for the milk to warm up. And then I like to thicken this up a little bit. I don't like it just so runny. So what I do is I typically use flour and water, cool water, for thickening things. Sometimes I will use cornstarch, but sometimes cornstarch you can taste it more and stuff, whereas flour stays pretty bland. So I like to thicken using flour. So that's what I'm going to do with this, as well as do my flour and water mixture. You add just enough, I don't know if you can see that, but so it's still pretty soupy, and I might not use all of this, but that's kind of the consistency that you want. And then when you put it in, you just stir it up real quickly, and it keeps it from clumping, breaks it down, and does a good job of thickening things up. Okay, I think it's hot enough now that I'm going to add my water and flour mixture here to thicken it up some. And you can always adjust this to your what you like, how thick you like your soup to be. Certainly not like a gravy, but I like it just a little bit thicker on the thicker side than watery. So. Okay, so I've added all of that. I did end up using it, but I'm just gonna let this sit and simmer some more, and it'll thicken up more as it simmers. So. Okay, it's been simmering for a little bit. I think it's good to go, and it's got the right consistency that I like. And I'm going to get this served up so it can be cooling down when everyone gathers in here for lunch. And here we have a bowl of soup. I did add some crackers. I'm going to add some shredded cheese. As you saw me shred earlier, this is like Colby Monterey Jack. Of course, cheddar would be good in this as well. And We like bacon crumbles on it too. Bacon crumbles go with a lot of things, and this soup is definitely one of them. So that's going to be it for now, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do end up trying this recipe, let us know. Let us know how you like it. And we'll see you later.